everybody. In this vid I'll dive straight into some of the rights that we maintain during the state of emergency. As I said last time, we maintain all rights except those explicitly limited by the state of emergency regulations. This time I'll focus on some of the rights that you have upon arrest and detention. Keep in mind that none of these rights will save you from being arrested if you do something wrong, so please don't do anything to be arrested, because none of this is going to save you from spending some quality time with potential criminals in a very, very small cell. But if you are arrested, keep these rights in mind and assert them as much as possible. You have to know how you must be treated. Upon arrest, the person has certain rights, as you see on TV in the US. It's often called Miranda rights in the US. The right to remain silent and whatnot. The Criminal Bar Association of Trinidad has posted an article in the Express dated September 16, and the article says that citizens maintain the following constitutional rights: the right to remain silent upon arrest and not to answer any police questions, the right to refuse to sign any documents or to refuse to participate in a video interview or anything of that sort. Okay, and quite importantly, the right to have an attorney visit him or her at the police station or other place of detention. If you can't afford an attorney, you can apply for legal aid to receive one. In addition to all this, you cannot be tortured or subject to cruel and unusual punishment. The police cannot force you to sign any documents, but sad fact is they might do that. So if you are arrested and abused or know anybody who has been, please submit a complaint to the Police Complaints Authority, and you could call the ENL in too, or anybody else in the media, so that they would throw a spotlight on the problem and in the future this thing won't happen. I'm going to start citing some more rights from international law, specifically a document called the Paris Minimum Standards of Human Rights in a State of Emergency. This document comes with a huge disclaimer. This document states that what the law in Trinidad and around the world should be. However, international law, this is a document from international law, cannot be directly enforced in local courts in Trinidad and in most countries. So, like your previous right not to be tortured, the police can still torture you anyway, and then the UN might come and help you 20 years after. I chose this document, however, because some of its provisions are part of the local law already, and also it is important to know what the rights should be and to hold the government against a high standard. The Paris Minimum Standards demand a bunch of rights, including freedom from discrimination. All persons must be treated equal regardless of race, sex, religion, etc. Freedom from slavery and servitude. The right to life. Nobody is to be killed without due process of law. Keep in mind that in Trinidad the death penalty is legal. However, this means that you have to be convicted and tried properly of the crime to be executed. You cannot be executed by the side of a road by a soldier with the AK-47. That is illegal, that is very bad, and it should be prevented at all costs. Freedom from torture or degrading treatment, as previous, is a very important and universally recognized right all around the world. And here's a big one that I will explore in detail: the right to a fair trial. Every person is supposed to be informed of the charges against them. This is part of your right to a fair trial. So when you are arrested, you are supposed to know why you are arrested. You are to be provided with facilities for your defense. You must be allowed to communicate with a lawyer of your own choosing. And if you cannot afford a lawyer, one ought to be provided for you free of charge. You have the right to be present at your own trial, which should be held in public. Now this is an important one. No one is to be held guilty of anything that was not a criminal offense at the time it was committed. So if a law is passed while you are in prison, making something you did in the past illegal, You're not to be held accountable for it. Also, if a harsher penalty is passed by the government while you are incarcerated, that harsher penalty is not to apply to you. I have linked the Paris minimum standards below. Please read them if you have time. Any human rights groups or advocates should use this document as the benchmark to measure the state of emergency against. Please share this video with your family and friends to keep them informed. Because if you don't, you see these eyes? Notice how they're kind of small? My great grandfather came from China. You know what that means?